want to invite you into a story. My friend Scott Phillips reached out and he told me this story about this thing that just happened. Scott Phillips is an engineer. He works with NASA. And he was connected to this amazing thing that has now happened with Martin Guitar and with NASA. So, in the mid-1960s, we dreamed of life out in the stars. JFK said by the end of this decade, by the end of the 60s, we will have a man on the moon. And that's amazing. And with crazy, primitive, archaic, by current standard technology, we took men to the moon. We walked on it. We put a flag on it. And we started asking questions about what would happen. Could we live here? Could we live in space? Could humans stay in orbit for a long period of time? And with that, we started to have to ask the next following questions, which are, can plants make it with us? Can animals make it in outer space? So what happened, there were 6 seeds that were taken into space, and they took these small seeds of trees and they wanted to see if, in zero gravity, could they germinate, could they grow? So they took these plants, or they took these seeds, 2 of them actually sprouted in outer space. So, when they were returned, these seedlings were grown and they were planted. And one of them was planted in Houston, and it was a sycamore tree. And it grew to be a giant tree. And, like many old trees, it started getting sick, and it came time to really start thinking about taking the tree down. And this is where government bureaucracy almost destroyed this story. So the standard operating procedure when you have something like this, when you have a tree on any federal ground, is that that tree, when it dies, it has to be mulched and used to supply mulch for the rest of the location, which part of me, that feels very responsible. It feels very cool that we try to keep our costs down, we try to use the trees that we have on hand, but not when it's a tree that's been to the moon. Not when it's this important and this significant. So, that's where Scott Phillips comes in. Scott is this amazing lion heart. He loves guitars and he loves NASA, and he knew about this tree. So he pulled every string he could, and he called everyone that he could, and he got a piece of the tree. And then he called Chris Martin at CF Martin. And he called Chris and he said, I have a piece of this tree, and it was in outer space. It was part of this mission. It was part of the Apollo missions. Chris said, we have to make a guitar out of this. So that's where this all started, and we ended up having enough wood to build 2 guitars. These guitars were built by CF Martin. There are 2 of them. One is staying in the Martin Museum, and the other is going to be in Huntsville, Alabama with Scott. So Scott's will be at U.S. Space and Rocket in Huntsville, Alabama in the Davidson building. That's where it's going to live, and so people that want to see it can see it. This guitar is incredible. It's a Martin D28 Deluxe bass. That's generally what it is. So East Indian rosewood back and sides, Sitka spruce. And here's the thing, sycamore isn't necessarily a tone wood. The wood from the moon tree was incorporated in a couple different ways. First, it's used in the rosette. Second, it's in the sound block. There are other parts of it all around the guitar. The guitar is amazingly ornate. It is a prestige, premier level, wonderful custom Martin. It was a great event. I wasn't able to be there because we just had a baby, and it was right at the same time that we're having a baby, and it wasn't a good time for me to go running off to play guitars with my friends. On the fingerboard is a Saturn rocket. This is the vessel that took people to outer space. It's beautiful, it's amazing. On the bridge is the date that we landed on the moon. On the headstock there are 6 icons, and these icons designate the 6 manned missions to the moon. So the high E string is Apollo 11, the B string is Apollo 12, the G string is Apollo 14, because Apollo 13, as you've seen in the movies, it didn't make it. The 4th string, the D, is Apollo 15, the 5th string, the A, is Apollo 16, and the 6th string is Apollo 17. These are the 6 manned missions that made it to the moon. So the event, Scott coordinated all of these things where he had Chris Martin was there. He went and picked up the guitar. Scott was there to get the guitar in person. There was a songwriting competition that was judged by really amazing guitar players, singer and songwriters. I wish I could have been there. Scott has a book about his journey of being connected to NASA, creating these amazing wooden models of shuttles for astronauts over the last couple decades. It's called Remove Before Flight. You can find him at removebeforeflightbook.com. It is an amazing story, and what it does, this guitar does what amazing guitars do. They fill you with wonder. They make you marvel at the creativity that humans can offer. It helps you just understand how amazing the world is. I hope that you feel gratitude and you just feel amazed at this super cool guitar. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy. I'm the Guitar Hunter. If you have questions or comments or slanderous remarks, put them in the comments down below. I love interacting with people there. If you want to become a guitar hunter, if you want to fill the world with music and friendship, the way that you do that is through my website. You go to jeremytheguitarhunter.com and you buy a t-shirt in the store. Buying a shirt is the best way that you can support this channel, that you can help make sure that these videos continue to happen. I'm Jeremy, I'm the Guitar Hunter. I hope that you feel deep inspiration, that you're connected to your community, and that you go and you fill the world with music and friendship.